from Clarkston, Michigan, the greatest city in the world. It's the Jose Aliaga Show. Jose Aliaga knows everyone. Get to know him as he interviews some of the most fascinating people from the greater Independence Township area. And now, broadcasting from the studios at Clarkston High School, the home of the state champion Wolves, here's Jose Aliaga.
Welcome to the Jose Aliaga Show. Today we have a guest. Most of you guys know him. His name is Jonathan Ettinger. And he's going to talk today about the primaries. You know, we have the Republican primary and the Democrat primary. How you doing, Jonathan?
All right, Jose. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming again.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
A lot of people enjoy when we talk about politics, about the primary, and it's becoming very intensive. You know, we have the first debate.
Yeah.
And we have actually, we break the debate in two sections because we have the underdogs, they call it, and the top 10. But you told me today you want to start talking with about the Democrats first, right?
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
All right. So who is the people running in the Democrat ticket for the primary?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, all the focus is on Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, okay? Then you still have, what is it, Martin O'Malley and, was it, crap, I can't even remember the other guy's name. That's how significant he is. But all the focus is just on Bernie and Hillary, okay? Now, that said, Bernie is gaining a lot of ground. He's getting major attention. He's actually coming in ahead of Hillary in some of the polls. He could actually do this. I mean, you could seriously see Bernie Sanders as the nominee. Now, for my money, being that I'm on the more Republican libertarian side of things, that's good and bad. Good, because you don't have the instant coronation of Hillary Clinton, no Clinton dynasty, and also good because it's easier to draw more of a distinction against him than Hillary, you know, stay out of the middle. The downside, though, if there are enough people who vote straight party Democrat, no matter who the candidate is, we could wind up with President Bernie Sanders, and that's a little frightening.
I see. For the people that probably don't follow much politics, but you know, Independence Township, Clarkston area is basically close to 70% conservative voters. And some people I know, they don't know who is Bernie Sanders. Can you tell us a little bit about him? He's what, a congressman, a senator?
He was he was in the U.S. House of Representatives from Vermont for basically forever. No, I'm kidding. But pretty much their only representative, literally. And then he moved over to the Senate. Then he quit the Democratic Party and is now an independent who caucuses with the Democrats.
Oh.
The man is an admitted socialist, but you're not going to run with the Socialist Party in this country because that just has a whole stigma to it that you don't want to mess with.
Okay, and you're saying that he is beating Hillary in some other polls?
He is actually ahead of Hillary in some polls. I'm not saying it's significant. It's not like he's coming out, you know, 70-20 against her or something, but he is getting ahead.
What kind of polls? Nationwide polls, like in some polls, the United States, or in Iowa, New Hampshire, and some of the...
New Hampshire for certain. I'm not sure about national, maybe not nationally, but then again, hey, New Hampshire's right next to Vermont. They know him up there. They also don't necessarily like her up there, so...
Good point. Now, O'Malley, no chance at all.
Given that most people don't even know who he is or that he's running, yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Now, the rumors about Joe Biden and former Vice President Al Gore running in this primary, is going to have, you think, a effect that it's going to take something from Hillary, from the establishment?
That's hard to call, because, I mean, we don't know yet just how seriously they're considering it. I mean, between the two, Biden's definitely more of a serious potential than Gore, I'd think.
Really?
It's way too out of left field for Gore to suddenly come back 16 years after losing and say, I totally want to run for president. Biden, maybe. But it really is what it's going to come down to is the party as a whole is going to have to say that Hillary's basically dead, and they don't necessarily want Bernie because he doesn't always play ball with them. So then they're going to be looking to get someone like Biden or possibly Gore involved.
I think. But if Biden gets to the race, just let's focus Biden because you believe Biden is a stronger candidate. So if Biden get to the race, do you think he's going to pull something from Hillary or from Bernie?
As it stands now, if he did get in the race and essentially made it somewhat of a three-way, if he pulls any traction at all, it's probably the would-be Hillary voters more than anybody. Although there is something to be said, he could pull from Bernie, because remember right now Bernie's getting a lot of the not Hillary vote out of the party, and Biden could take part of that.
So at this point, with these 4 candidates, excluding Biden and Al Gore, do you think Hillary got it very much?
I really don't know.
Because she's campaigning for November.
Yeah, and she's also being dogged by all the mistakes she made as Secretary of State right now. So for her, it's basically she's in a position now sort of like her husband was when he asked to define the word is, if you follow me, okay?
Okay.
He's in trouble, she's in trouble. It's just a matter of how she's going to dig out of it or not.
Okay.
Maybe she can pull it off, but meanwhile, Bernie's capitalizing on that.
Okay, good. Now let's go to the Republican primary. As you know, it's a very intensive primary. The primary is going to start in Iowa, New Hampshire. Some people says don't look the polls in the United States because it doesn't matter California, New York, and Boston. Massachusetts. We need to focus who is winning in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. And that's right now Donald Trump, Scott Walker, and Jeb Bush. Do you think it's between those 3, or you think it's everything can happen right now?
Oh no, it's still anybody's game. I mean, I can see the point of saying focus on these first 3 and not the national. But here's the thing: national popularity can influence regional popularity. Okay. It doesn't work the other way around. Now, is there something to be said? Yeah. So if someone could lead Iowa and New Hampshire, it's possible for a candidate to win Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina and still collapse right after that anyway. That's nothing is guaranteed. So really right now, yeah, Donald Trump's the most popular, but you have to really look at why he's popular, what's resonating, who's it resonating with. Right now, Donald Trump is, I mean, for lack of a better term, he's just the loudmouth candidate. He's the one who's out there saying, I'm not part of the machine, I don't mince words, I'm saying exactly how it is, blah, 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 and everyone's like, yeah, that's new, that's change, and no one's looking long-term, thinking about, okay, but what if he's actually elected? So, no, he's going to start tapering off. Meanwhile, you got other candidates are still laying more of a groundwork that you're not hearing about. Rand Paul does have significant campaign following in Iowa and New Hampshire. Maybe not, trying so hard in South Carolina yet, but he's really doing about Iowa what his dad did before. You're just not hearing about it because all the focus is on Trump, blah, 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 Trump. So, I mean, the media is half to blame, really.
Well, if we take a look on the last time was open seat when George W. Bush was, open seat in 2008. Yeah. In 2007 primaries, at this point, because now it's open seat because Barack Obama is leaving office, who was leading in that poll in that time when it was open office was Giuliani was leading. And then actually McCain and Mitt Romney were in the bottom. Yep. And in the end was between those 2, and then Huckabee showed up between those 3. So now we don't know, but in that poll I remember was that still those guys went in the top 5 though. You know? And everybody else was 6, 7 didn't make it to the in the end. And in that 2012 we have Herman Cain for a while was up there. And,
it's a 999 plan, yeah.
Yeah, the 999.
That was funny.
Well, it becomes funny when Michelle Bachmann says, well, you flip her over as 666.
Yeah, that was her desperation attempt. But
yeah.
Then again, Herman Cain got his campaign from Pokemon, but we won't go there.
All right.
You got to remember something about this race, though, Jose. And it's not just a word we throw. It is a race.
It is a race.
Just because someone's pulling ahead by a lot early on doesn't mean they have what it takes to do the whole game, okay?
Okay.
So someone who's really early, like Giuliani, boom, gone right before it really even got going anywhere because he had nothing left.
Well, I met some people that said Chris Christie did really well in the last debate. And some people told me that Governor from Ohio did a good debate. Even as people start talking, I mean, in the media, saying, you know, I think it will be good to have Jeb Bush and Kasich from Ohio. That way we have somebody in Florida and Ohio. Some people say maybe Marco Rubio and Kasich, Ohio and Florida.
And that's just playing pure politics without really giving consideration to the actual policies involved. That's so stupid.
Well, so what's wrong with Kasich?
I'm not saying necessarily there is, okay? He's a bit more middle-of-the-road populist than most people are going to like. I mean, based on the debate, I liked some of what he had to say. He dealt with things about, you know, homosexuals and whatnot pretty well.
Sure, okay.
He gave the right answer when posed that question. Should have been a question that even mattered to be asked. Okay, that's something else. But see, at the end of the day, these debates didn't change too many minds, okay?
Yeah, okay.
No one really gained support from those debates, ultimately. What really happened was some people may have favored this candidate or that candidate, and then they just, if that particular one they liked didn't do too well in the debate, then they're like, I don't know, maybe I kind of like this guy instead. That's it. That's all that did.
Well, after that debate, though, Donald Trump went up, though.
Well,
And the people perception were like, most of the candidates, no one actually make him mad because they don't want him to run as a third party against them. So everybody has a perception, oh, everybody just let him talk except for Rand Paul. And Chris Christie, I think, right? Rand Paul was the one who
Rand was the main one trying to take him to task,
Yeah, and some people said that that maybe was a mistake because they say if Rand Paul wins the nominee, he wins the primary, then maybe Donald Trump runs as a third party. I know he doing this because it's gonna damage the Republican Party, but people perception were like, oh no, we wanna, you know, the candidates don't wanna make.
There was talk and a threat of a Trump third party thing in a previous election, though.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it. The only difference between previously and now is that Trump is actually actively in the Republican process this time. That's it.
Okay.
Now,
but he's leading, though.
Rand Paul was actually right. Trump goes for money. Trump is for Trump. He has bought many favors from many people across the political spectrum. He does not really have, well, principles, basically, is what it comes down to. He is the epitome of a populist. Now, when you say he goes up in the polls, yeah, undecided people who bothered to pay attention to the debate at all and who maybe got asked questions in a poll said, yeah, I like that thing that guy said that time. That's all that is. Trust me, he is going to burn out. Now, could he still go third party? Maybe, very, very doubtful. Meanwhile, hey, if somehow Bernie doesn't become the Democratic nominee, I would love to see both Bernie and Donald Trump in as independents and making this a four-way race where people actually have to pay attention. I would love that, but that's just me.
I see. So, besides Rand Paul, who you think was good in the debate?
Jeb Bush came off better than I would have thought. But then again, coming into it, people were mostly just comparing him to his brother. So there wasn't much of a standard to meet there.
But he was good.
Yeah, he didn't damage himself is what it came down to. Some of the others, I mean, Rubio got a couple nice lines in. So what, though? That's really all he was. Now for one moment, back to Rand Paul. We gotta remember, they counted the time spent on camera, speaking time in that debate. Rand Paul barely got 4 minutes out of the entire thing. And that's including when he interrupted to take lines at Christie and at Donald Trump. If he hadn't done that, he probably would have had all of maybe 2 minutes of speaking time the entire time.
Well, people said, and people were talking in the social media, because people in the national media would tell you what they want to tell you.
Yeah.
But the people in the social media were saying that the candidate they said they had the last minute in the debate was Ben Carson. They said that was unfair for Ben Carson. And some other people said that actually was unfair for Donald Trump. Some people said that actually what's her name is Megyn Kelly. She was really unfair with him with the questions. The questions were so personally attacking Donald Trump.
And that's a whole other issue.
I agree with some of those questions because it was so soft for some of the candidates.
Oh yeah,
but for Donald Trump were the toughest questions.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call it a serious debate by any stretch. The closest it even came to being serious is when you had the back and forth between Chris Christie and Rand Paul over terrorism. And it's like, I'm sorry, but Rand Paul is right. Rand Paul believes
he's right?
in individual rights.
Okay.
Rand Paul supports the Fourth Amendment and saying, look, just get a warrant. If there's really sufficient reason to go after somebody, you can get a warrant. It's not hard. Chris Christie, basically being the new Rudy Giuliani, just 9/11, 9/11, terrorism. Dude, no, come on. That's dead. That's gone. That was 2004. That was 2008. Give it up. But he's still playing the same fear card, and sadly, he's actually getting something from it.
Well, I mean, I think personally, we have to be concerned and worry about some of the extremist people like ISIS and some of those groups, you know. I think.
I'm not saying there's no reason to be concerned. I'm just talking, it's not worth sacrificing our own individual rights and basically turning our entire population into prisoners effectively.
Oh, no.
Just to fight so-called terrorism.
No, I saw that in there was a documental by, the documental name was America by, what's his name, Desanish, what's his name is?
Oh, Dinesh D'Souza, yeah.
Yeah, and Rand Paul was talking there about that, and he bring a good explanation. I believe that he was right.
Oh yeah, no, there are definitely valid concerns.
Yeah.
But we have to have a more principled approach in how we deal with it too.
Yeah.
And that's something Chris Christie does not bring.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, no, he's from New Jersey, and you know he's gonna have a tough time to win the primary for sure. I mean, he's in very more in the middle, but more in the other way than.
Well, and he also might be in more trouble than you think, though, because there are rumors circulating that he could be quitting before the end of August. They might be very thin rumors, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because for all you know, right before September comes around, you could see something on Drudge Report saying it's happening, and that's basically it. If Drudge has it, then it's pretty much true.
Well, yeah. But we're talking about now the top 10, who we missed. Marco Rubio says he just got few lines, so he didn't convince you at all.
I mean, he said a couple nice things about a couple things, but I've also watched him in the Senate, and I know where I vehemently disagree with Marco Rubio, so he's not getting me anytime soon.
What is the worst thing that you disagree with Marco Rubio? One example.
Patriot Act.
Patriot, why?
Because it's something that never should have happened. It criminalizes pretty much our entire country, strips away our rights, and he actually voted to reauthorize it when it could have died.
Okay. All right.
Rand Paul is like Justin Amash, wants the NSA to go away, to leave us alone. Marco Rubio's in there saying, no, we need this. It's totally necessary to spy on everyone, always.
No.
But now, Ben Carson, though, he had a few good spots, but you could also tell he wasn't used to being in front of the camera. He's not used to that kind of attention. So that's one, I'm not going to write him off. Let's see how things go in the next one, see how it plays out. But then again, speaking of the next one, we could be expecting Carly Fiorina to actually be in the main debate in this next one, all depending.
All right. Well, Carly Fiorina was in the underdogs.
Yeah.
But now, if Carly Fiorina goes up in the top 10, so who's going down? Kasich?
It's going to depend on which polls they go by. Now, keep in mind, though, the RNC, in their best attempt at being fair ever, said that they were going to partner with social media, go by an aggregate of popularity from polls, and that'll determine who's in which debate. Look what happened, though, after the first debate. Oh, no, Trump bad with Megyn Kelly. They're talking about trying to keep Trump out of the main one because of that. And I'm sorry, not that I favor Trump, but have some consistency in your rules. You're either going to follow this procedure by these lines, or you're not. And if you're not, then you're a joke, and why should anyone pay attention to your so-called debate?
Right, but you see, let's go by the facts, though. That debate, put it together by Fox News and Facebook, was the highest in ratings ever in history.
Oh yeah, but that's because it was talked to death for months and months with everything about the primaries going up into it. How could it not be?
Because they said because Donald Trump was on it.
A big part of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, even people in South America watch it.
Odds
they
are
got subscription on Fox to watch that.
Odds are Trump will be in the next main one. They're just talking talk to try to talk him down. Okay. Now we're saying Fiorina might go up. Dang, it's well. Then again, if Chris Christie drops out of the race before the next debate happens, he'd be your obvious one to lose from the top 10.
Okay, hold on. So basically, for what you're saying is the way I interpreted what you just said. You're just saying that in the underdog debate, Carly Fiorina won.
Yeah, she
because
ran
by
away with that.
applying, then she's gonna possible be in the top 10, that means that she's going up.
All she has to do is come out slightly higher in the polls than one of those other 10 people.
Okay, hold on.
Regardless of
Was
who it
Carly
is.
Fiorina, was Lindsey Graham, George Pataki, Rick Santorum, Rick Perry.
Yep.
And the guy, actually is a governor that announced, I don't know if people know, but it's the former governor of Virginia, or West Virginia or something?
Oh yeah, Jim Gilmore from Virginia.
Virginia, right?
Yeah, notice how we barely remember that he was even there?
Well,
So that's not a factor. Not a factor.
But Virginia is a swing state, right?
And Jim Gilmore made an attempt to try to run before, and it lasted for 2 months. Doesn't matter. Trust me, he's nothing. Pataki has a better chance than Jim Gilmore, and Pataki is nowhere. Sorry.
Pataki is nowhere. You think Pataki did bad or what?
Oh, I'm not saying he was bad. It's just you're not going to get many from the second tier moving up into the big game.
Well,
and Fiorina took all the steam from that.
I think the thing that hit Pataki in that debate was that he says that he's a pro-choice. And I think that was a big factor right there.
We could make a program unto itself debating that one. So.
All right, well, but, okay, Carly Fiorina did better than all those guys.
Yeah, easily.
Who was the second best there? Rick Perry? Maybe Lindsey Graham? Some people actually like Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, both of them. No,
I mean, some people said that he was actually, he brought some humor and he was like engaged.
There was a couple moments, but then there was a couple real just head shakers. And if anything, honestly, Rick Perry might almost be your second best out of that tier. Mm-hmm. And he was practically horrible. So that's not saying anything.
Okay, but hold on, Rick Perry was a governor of Texas. Which
Rick
is
Perry is George W. Bush all over again. It's not going to happen.
Why? Why he's why?
He literally speaks like him, thinks like him, is like him. The man couldn't even say Ronald Reagan's name properly in the debate, okay? Watch the tape. I replayed it. He said Ronald Raven.
But you're talking about principles. You're talking about also what I says experience. Mm-hmm. But I think he did a decent job with the budget and some of the issues there.
He
Job
may have
creation
been okay in Texas, but he's got nothing to offer on a national level.
But even though you don't give a point that he actually deal with Congress, he deal with the state legislation.
It doesn't translate as well as one would think. No.
Now, out of all those governors, who is the best?
Out of all the governors in the race?
Yeah. I mean, you have Jeb Bush, Scott Walker. Some people say he did really well.
Gary Johnson's not there, right? Okay.
No, Gary Johnson. Well, I don't know. He have his Facebook active though.
Yeah. Well, we'll touch on that one later. But
he's running. I think as a third party though.
He's not actually anywhere yet. But
no, all right.
Out of all the current governors in the race, actually, you know who might be your next best out of the bottom tier? Mm-hmm. Bobby Jindal.
Okay, but he didn't make it to the top 10? He wasn't down the top?
He was on the underside, yeah. But, take a watch.
You know, a lot of people told me when they actually saw him just look at it, oh, no chance. No presidential looking is what some people said. But when he was actually responding or answering the questions, he did really well. And some people were like, wow, he's really good.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, when you give him a chance, he's got some good ideas. Do I think he should be the guy? No, but he's definitely showing better than some of the others.
Better than Scott Walker?
That's hard to call. There is room for Walker to fall. I don't know if he can really hold where he is.
I see.
But I mean, let's consider, okay, who were the 10 that were in the main debate to begin with, okay? Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, one we haven't even mentioned at all, Ted Cruz. Mm-hmm. Ted Cruz is just all over on social media trying to make himself look more popular than he actually is.
He's out of the senators, he's the one who leads in the polls. But
again, consider who they're actually asking in these polls.
Right, but he's leading.
It's a certain segment of people.
Yeah. Be honest to you, I never get a call. Ask me for who I got.
Neither have I.
For that. So
we're not that group, man. We are not that.
When you see polls in Michigan, just for it's not me or him. I don't know who is those guys. The poll
doesn't mean anything.
Because if you do a poll in Detroit, obviously the result is more.
That's going to be a little skewed.
Right. It depends the location where you do the polls. You can do the polls in Birmingham. You can do polls in Clarkston, Detroit, or Flint, or Pontiac. Yeah. Totally different.
Hey, if you poll Detroit versus polling Escanaba, how's it going to differ?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
So you say Jindal is the best. candidate, I mean governor, I mean candidate that's actually a governor?
Possibly. I
Between-
mean, it's back and forth with him and Walker to a degree.
Okay, so Jeb Bush, because Jeb Bush has actually
Jeb
experience.
Bush is just not looking as bad as you would thought if he was. That doesn't mean he's not that bad. He just looks better than you would have thought.
No, but I think he has a lot of experience dealing, I mean, with the federal government. I think he done a lot of good things with education, for what I hear with the
And he still
vouchers
can't
and all
distance himself from Common Core, and that's going to hurt him. So,
that. Well, probably, but he's still second, right?
again, depending on which polls and which 400 people got asked.
Okay.
All that polls matter for is determining who's actually in the next debate.
Now, you're a libertarian, and you believe in principles. You're very smart. If Donald Trump wins the primary, will you support him?
I'd have to see who else is actually up there.
No, but he wins the primary as a Republican.
No,
nominee.
I'm saying if he's the Republican nominee, I need to see who else is involved in the race. Is it Trump versus Hillary? Do I vote for Trump just to stop Hillary? Is it Trump versus Bernie? Do I see Bernie as more of a threat?
So which one will you support then? If it's Bernie and Trump?
It's hard to make that call, man.
Really?
Who's the Libertarian candidate? Who's the Constitution Party candidate? What are my other options? Do I really have to give my vote to Trump?
So you won't support that?
I'm not saying I will or wouldn't vote for him. It all depends.
Jeb Bush. Will you support Jeb Bush?
I think that's a dead one. That's no chance, no.
You won't support Jeb Bush. Scott Walker?
Possibly.
Ted Cruz?
Possibly.
Really?
Possibly.
Marco Rubio?
Far less likely.
Chris Christie?
Not a chance in hell.
No? Okay. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for being here, and thanks. I'm pretty sure today people learn more about what's going on, and
they learn
your
more
opinion
about my
is good.
opinions, but
well, no, it's good opinion, because you're not coming with a script from some other private interest. You come in your own and you say what's going on and what you feel in your heart. What you think is the truth and what's happening, and it's what actually most people is talking around. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching the Jose Aliaga Show. If you want to be in the show, please contact us at Facebook at the Jose Aliaga Show, or you can call us at 248-736-7163. Thank you, and God bless you. Adios.